The entire Kobali invasion fleet exploded in a white-hot fireball, the shockwave obliterating their homeworld and 5 inhabited planets, when the humans proved to the galaxy that Earth was off fucking limits. Noah Gray stood at the window of the Titan's fury, whiskey in hand, watching the carnage unfold light years away. 2 days prior, he was drinking rotgut in a shithole bar on Zirax Prime, when a message flashed on his wrist comp. It was his old squad mate Korvac. The grizzled merc hadn't seen the battle-scarred Kobali rebel in years, not since that clusterfuck of a mission on Sigma 9. Korvac had a bionic arm now. Said he lost the real one escaping a Kobali torture camp. Noah listened as Korvac laid out the facts. The Kobali Empire had infiltrated Earth. The blue-skinned bastards had wormed their way into the global government and were preparing a full-scale invasion to strip the planet of its resources. Trillions would die. But Korvac had a plan. A desperate, stupid, suicidal plan. "We need to hit them first," Korvac growled, his face illuminated by the bar's crackling neon signs. "Infiltrate their homeworld, sabotage their fleet. It's the only way." Noah laughed, told Korvac he was crazy, said it was a good way to get dead quick. But then Korvac showed him the evidence. Grainy footage of Kobali agents meeting with Earth politicians, classified reports detailing the Empire's invasion plans. Noah felt his blood run cold. Earth needed him. Humanity needed him. He'd sworn an oath all those years ago to protect the innocent from the horrors of the galaxy, to be the shield against the darkness. And right now, that darkness was coming for his home. "I'm in," Noah said, draining his glass. "Let's go fuck up some Kobali." The Titan's fury soared through the inky void of space, its engines humming with power. Noah sat in the co-pilot seat, his eyes fixed on the star charts displayed on the ship's console. Beside him, Korvac punched in the coordinates for Koba Prime, the Kobali homeworld. "This ain't gonna be easy," Korvac said, his voice gruff. "Koba Prime's got more defenses than a Zorgon brothel. We'll need high-level security clearance just to get close." Noah nodded, his mind already working on a plan. "I know a guy, arms dealer named Zrak. He's got connections to the Kobali top brass. If anyone can get us the codes we need, it's him." Korvac raised an eyebrow. "Zrak, that psychopath? I heard he feeds his enemies to his pet Varga." Noah shrugged. "Never said he was a nice guy, but he's our best shot." They set course for Zrak's compound, a heavily fortified base on the outskirts of Kobali space. As they approached, Noah could see the glint of auto turrets and the shimmering energy fields of the compound's defenses. "It looks like Zrak's been upgrading his security," Noah said, his eyes narrowing. Korvac grunted. "Guess he pissed off the wrong people again." They landed the Fury a safe distance from the compound and geared up. Noah strapped on his plasma rifle and checked his ammo. Korvac hefted a massive energy cannon over his shoulder, the weapon whirring to life. "Let's do this," Noah said, his voice grim. They approached the compound from the south, using the cover of the dense jungle to avoid detection. As they neared the outer perimeter, a squad of Zrak's mercenaries emerged from the tree line, their weapons raised. Noah and Korvac dove for cover as plasma bolts sizzled through the air. Noah popped up from behind a fallen log and squeezed off a few shots, dropping 2 mercs with well-placed headshots. Korvac let loose with his cannon, the beam of energy vaporizing a cluster of mercs. The rest of the squad scattered, their screams echoing through the jungle. "Move!" Noah yelled, sprinting towards the compound. They breached the outer defenses, Noah hacking the security systems with a few quick keystrokes. Inside, they were met with a hail of blaster fire from Zrak's elite guard. Noah and Korvac fought their way through the compound, their weapons flashing in the dim light. Noah ducked behind a crate as a merc lobbed a plasma grenade in his direction. He scooped up the grenade and hurled it back, the explosion sending the merc flying. Korvac charged forward, his cannon blazing. He slammed into a group of mercs, scattering them like bowling pins. Noah watched in awe as the Kobali rebel tore through Zrak's defenses, his bionic arm crackling with energy. They reached the center of the compound, where Zrak's private vault was located. Noah hacked the lock and they slipped inside, only to be confronted by a pair of genetically engineered guard beasts. The creatures were massive, their muscles rippling beneath their scales. They lunged at Noah and Korvac, their claws slashing through the air. Noah rolled to the side, narrowly avoiding a swipe that would have taken his head off. He fired his rifle, the plasma bolts searing the beast's hide. Korvac grappled with the other beast, his bionic arm locked around its throat. The creature thrashed and snarled, but Korvac held on, squeezing until the beast went limp. Noah finished off the other beast with a point-blank shot to the head. They searched the vault and found what they were looking for: Zarak's high-level security codes. "Got 'em," Noah said, pocketing the data chip. They made their escape, hijacking one of Zarak's prototype stealth ships. As they blasted off into space, Noah couldn't help but feel a sense of respect for Korvac. The Kobali rebel was a warrior through and through, and Noah was glad to have him on his side. As they set course for Koba Prime, Korvac told Noah more about the Kobali Empire's dark history, how they had conquered and enslaved countless worlds, stripping them of their resources and leaving them barren, how the rebel faction had risen up to fight against the Empire's tyranny, only to be crushed time and time again. "But we're not giving up," Korvac said, his eyes burning with determination. "We'll keep fighting until every last Kobali is driven from our homes, until our people are free." Noah nodded, feeling the weight of their mission settle on his shoulders. Earth was counting on them. Humanity was counting on them. They had to succeed no matter the cost. As Koba Prime loomed in the viewscreen, Noah knew that the real challenge was just beginning. But with Korvac by his side, he was ready to face whatever the Kobali Empire threw at them. As the stealth ship rocketed towards Koba Prime, a blinking light on the console caught Noah's eye. He leaned forward, frowning at the display. "We've got an incoming distress signal," he said, his fingers flying over the controls. "It's coming from a nearby Kobali prison colony." Korvac's eyes narrowed. Could be a trap. Noah nodded, but something about the signal made him pause. He enhanced the audio and a man's voice filled the cockpit. "This is Dr. Ryak Solarian requesting immediate assistance. I am being held in the Kobali prison colony on Zeta 9. They're coming for me. Please, if anyone can hear this." The message cut off abruptly, and Noah turned to Korvac. "Ryak Solarian, why does that name sound familiar?" Korvac leaned back in his seat, his expression grim. "He's a human scientist, one of the best. The Kobali captured him years ago." Noah's eyes widened. "And he's still alive?" Korvac nodded. "Ryax is a key figure in the rebel faction. He has intimate knowledge of Kobali technology. We've been trying to locate him for years." Noah's mind raced with possibilities. If they could rescue Ryax, his knowledge could be invaluable to their mission. He made a decision. "We're going after him," Noah said, already plotting a course to Zeta 9. Korvac's eyes narrowed. "It's a huge risk. We're supposed to be heading for Koba Prime." Noah met his gaze. "I know, but we might not get another chance to rescue Rax. His intel could change everything." Korvac hesitated, then nodded. "All right, let's do it." They landed the stealth ship on the outskirts of the prison colony, its cloaking device rendering them invisible to the Kobali sensors. Noah and Korvac geared up, checking their weapons and equipment. As they approached the colony's perimeter, Noah's skin prickled with unease. The place was a fortress with towering walls and automated gun turrets. "We'll need to find another way in," Noah said, scanning the defenses. Korvac pointed to a nearby maintenance hatch. "There. If we can reach that access tunnel, it should lead us inside." They made their way to the hatch, dodging patrols of Kobali guards. Noah hacked the lock and they slipped inside, emerging in a dimly lit corridor. As they crept through the colony's depths, the air grew thick with the stench of fear and despair. The walls were lined with cells, each one containing a prisoner in various states of torture and experimentation. Noah gritted his teeth, his anger rising. The Kobali were monsters, and he would make them pay for their cruelty. Suddenly an alarm blared and a group of guards rounded the corner, their weapons raised. Noah and Korvac opened fire, plasma bolts scorching the walls. They fought their way deeper into the colony, facing off against the Warden's elite security forces. The Kobali were relentless, their cybernetic enhancements giving them inhuman strength and speed. As they neared the central control room, Noah heard a cold metallic laugh. A figure emerged from the shadows, his body a twisted fusion of flesh and metal. "Welcome to my domain," the Warden said, his voice dripping with malice. "I am Drazo, and you will not leave here alive." Noah raised his rifle, his finger tightening on the trigger. "We'll see about that." Drazo lunged forward, his cybernetic arm morphing into a razor-sharp blade. Noah ducked and rolled, firing a burst of plasma into the Warden's chest. Drazo staggered back, then let out a roar of rage. He charged again, his movements a blur of speed. Noah met him head-on, their blades clashing in a shower of sparks. They traded blows, each one a test of strength and skill. In the end, it was Noah's fury that gave him the edge. With a final desperate strike, he drove his blade into Drazo's chest, piercing the Warden's black heart. As Drazo fell, Noah turned to see Korvac leading a group of prisoners out of the control room. Among them was a thin, haggard man with haunted eyes. "Dr. Solarian?" Noah asked, lowering his weapon. The man nodded, his voice hoarse. "Thank you, I thought I would die in this place." As they made their escape, Rax stumbled and Noah caught him. The scientist looked up at him, a flicker of hope in his eyes. "I've been working on something," Rax said, his voice barely a whisper. "A computer virus that can cripple the Kobali fleet's AI systems. It's not finished, but with your help." Noah's heart raced with excitement. This was the break they needed. "We'll get you out of here, Doctor, and then we'll finish what you started." They fought their way back to the stealth ship, Kobali reinforcements hot on their heels. As they blasted off into space, Noah felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had struck a blow against the Kobali, and with Rax's help, they might just have a chance to save Earth. As the prison colony faded from view, Noah set a course for Cobra Prime once more. The road ahead was long and treacherous, but he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For Earth, for humanity, for freedom. As the stolen stealth ship pierced through Cobra Prime's atmosphere, Noah's grip tightened on the controls. Korvac and Rax stood behind him, their faces illuminated by the cockpit's flickering displays. "Galactic's codes are working," Rax said, his fingers flying over a console. "We're slipping past their orbital defenses." Noah nodded, guiding the ship towards the sprawling Kobali shipyard below. Hundreds of warships lined the docks, their hulls gleaming under the harsh floodlights. They landed in a shadowed corner of the yard, the ship's cloaking field shimmering as it powered down. Noah turned to his companions, his expression grim. "We all know what we have to do. Rax, get to that computer core and upload the virus. Korvac and I will plant the charges." They split up, each heading towards their target. Noah moved through the shadows, his footsteps echoing on the metal walkways. He placed the explosives at key structural points, his mind focused on the task at hand. Suddenly, a figure stepped out from behind a support beam. Noah froze, his blood turning to ice in his veins. He knew that face, those cold, dead eyes. "Kane," he growled, his hand dropping to his sidearm. The traitor smiled, his teeth flashing in the dim light. "Noah, it's been a long time." Noah's mind flashed back to that fateful mission, the screams of his dying comrades filling his ears. Rage boiled up inside him, hot and fierce. "You betrayed us," he snarled, drawing his weapon. "You led us into a trap." Kane shrugged, his own gun held loosely at his side. "I made a choice. The Kobali offered me power, wealth, things the Alliance could never provide." Noah lunged forward, his fist slamming into Kane's jaw. The traitor staggered back, then retaliated with a vicious kick to Noah's ribs. They fought like wild animals, trading blows in a brutal dance of death. Across the shipyard, Korvac ducked behind a crate as plasma bolts sizzled overhead. A squad of Kobali security forces had him pinned down, their weapons spitting fire. He returned fire with his cannon, the air crackling with energy. Kobali soldiers fell, their bodies smoking. But more took their place, an endless wave of enemies. Korvac gritted his teeth, his bionic arm whirring as he reloaded. He had to reach the rendezvous point, had to make sure Rax and Noah made it out alive. In the central computer core, Rax's fingers danced across the control panel. Sweat beaded his forehead as he worked, the virus slowly uploading into the Kobali systems. Just a few more minutes, he thought. Just a few more minutes and it would all be over. Back at the ambush site, Noah and Kane circled each other, their bodies battered and bloody. Noah's vision swam, his ribs screaming with every breath. But he couldn't stop. Not now. Not when he was so close to ending this. With a final desperate lunge, he tackled Kane to the ground. His hands closed around the traitor's throat, squeezing with all his strength. Kane thrashed and bucked, but Noah held on, his grip relentless. Slowly the light faded from Kane's eyes, his body going limp. Noah staggered to his feet, his breath coming in ragged gasps. Suddenly alarms blared throughout the shipyard, the sound deafening. Rax's virus was taking effect, the Kobali systems crashing one by one. But Noah knew it was only the beginning. The real battle was still to come. As the virus tore through the Kobali fleet systems, sparks flew from control panels, and the lights flickered ominously. Noah, Korvac, and Ryax fought their way through the chaos, blasting past disoriented Kobali soldiers. "The control room is just ahead," Ryax shouted over the blaring alarms. "We're almost there." Noah nodded, his jaw set as he cut down another Kobali with a burst from his plasma rifle. They had come too far to fail now. They reached the control room's blast doors, Rax's fingers flying over the keypad. The doors hissed open, revealing a phalanx of heavily armed Kobali guards. Noah and Korvac charged forward, their weapons blazing. Noah ducked under a guard's swinging blade, slamming his rifle butt into the Kobali's face. Beside him, Korvac grappled with a hulking commander, his bionic arm straining against the Kobali's enhanced strength. Suddenly the commander's blade slipped past Korvac's defenses, slicing deep into his side. Korvac roared in pain, his blood splattering the deck. "Korvac!" Noah yelled, blasting the commander's head off with a point-blank shot. He caught Korvac as he fell, dragging him into the control room. "I'm fine," Korvac growled through gritted teeth, his hand pressed against the wound. "Just get that message out." Rax was already at the console, his fingers dancing across the controls. "I'm patching into the Kobali comm network. We'll be broadcasting to every ship in the fleet and every subjugated world in the Empire." Noah watched as Rax prepared to transmit their message of rebellion and hope. This was it, the moment they had fought and bled for. But just as Rax's finger hovered over the final key, the screen above them flickered to life. Noah's blood ran cold as he saw the face that haunted his nightmares. "Emperor Jarl," Korvac spat, struggling to his feet. The Kobali ruler regarded them with a cruel smile, his eyes glinting with malice. "Did you really think you could defy me? That you could bring down my empire with your pathetic little rebellion?" Noah raised his rifle, his finger tightening on the trigger, but Jarl's next words stopped him cold. "I have taken your precious Earth hostage," the Emperor said, his voice dripping with sadistic glee. "Even now my ships are in orbit, ready to unleash a bioweapon that will wipe out every last human on that miserable planet." Noah's heart hammered in his chest. He couldn't let this happen, he wouldn't. "Surrender now," Jarl demanded, "or watch as your homeworld burns." Noah looked to Rax and Korvac, saw the desperation and fear in their eyes. They were out of options, out of time. But then Korvac stepped forward, his blood-soaked hand clutching the self-destruct mechanism for the control room. "For the rebellion," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "For freedom." And then he pressed the button. The world exploded around them, consoles shattering and flames erupting from every surface. Noah grabbed Ryax, shielding him from the blast as they ran for the exit. Behind them, Korvac stood tall among the flames, a smile on his face as he watched the command center crumble. He had given his life to save them all. Noah and Rax stumbled into the hangar bay, choking on the smoke that filled their lungs. They climbed aboard a waiting shuttle, Rax's hands shaking as he punched in the coordinates for Earth. As they blasted away from the dying shipyard, Noah looked back at the devastation they had wrought. The Kobali fleet was in ruins, their command structure decapitated. But at what cost? Korvac was gone, sacrificed on the altar of their rebellion, and now the Emperor's wrath would be unrelenting. They had struck a blow against the Kobali Empire, but Noah knew that the fight was far from over. As they hurtled through the stars towards Earth, Rax turned to him, his eyes haunted. Korvac said there were others, he murmured, rebel cells on Earth waiting to rise up. Noah nodded, his gaze fixed on the viewport. Then we find them. We build our strength and we take the fight to the Empire, for Korvac, for Earth, for every species the Kobali have ground beneath their boot. They rode the rest of the way in silence, each lost in their own thoughts. The weight of their mission hung heavy on their shoulders, the memory of their fallen comrade even heavier. They had won a battle, but the war stretched before them, dark and uncertain. Noah clenched his fists, his resolve hardening like steel. No matter the odds, no matter the cost, he would keep fighting for as long as it took, until the Kobali Empire was nothing but ashes and dust. Until the galaxy was free. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.